Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Control. Last time, Jesse found her way to the Federal Bureau of Control. We entered the oldest house, and we met Emily Pope. And pretty soon, we are going to be learning more about Pope, the job or the role of director, and what is going on.
Has burrowed too deep. Ripping it out rips them apart.
So we can't really cleanse someone infested by the hiss.
We need to make a plan, Jess.
I can't cleanse them.
I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jesse.
I'm gonna tell her why I'm here. I'll risk it.
Listen, the Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time.
That's enough. Maybe that's too much already. I can't tell her about Dylan and the rest yet.
I've seen mentions of an Altered World event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing. I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. Or a few of us. And Director Trench would know.
Trench? The ghost, or whatever he is. He mentioned something called the Hotline. Said I should find it.
It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone. A direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the hiss.
Where is the hotline?
It's kept in the communications department through the mailroom. It's part of this sector, so we can access it even with the lockdown in place. We'll get the door open for you.
Okay, that's my next stop.
That's Tomassi's department. He's head of communications. I don't think he had an HRA. He kind of made a point about not wearing one earlier. Keep an eye out.
They call me the director. But that's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know. Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world. What scares me shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the hiss destroy it all.
I know this is all new to you, so don't hesitate to ask me anything you want to know. There are no stupid questions. The door to the comms department is just outside the boardroom back in the lobby. They should have gotten it open by now. Follow the signs to the mailroom. You can get to the hotline containment chamber through there. Good luck, Jesse. See you back here once you have the hotline.
We're going to talk to Pope a little bit more and get a lot of exposition. First, we're going to come over here and grab our first personal mod. Oh, it's not our first. I just missed the others. This is kind of an underwhelming customization system that is pretty ancillary. You can mostly ignore it. There are some health boosts, damage boosts, and other things. It's pretty meh.
The hotline should be in the communications department.
Where did the hiss come from?
I'm not sure. You said the hiss was here when you entered. Did you see anything like that outside before you came in?
No. No, just inside.
The source is internal then. See, the oldest house is a sprawling complex with openings to other places as well. I don't even know where to start looking. But in the context, it's good news. The lockdown holds. The hiss escaping the building would be the end. Pretty shitty world out there if you ask me, but I wouldn't want the hiss to destroy it.
With you on that, Emily. You mentioned the oldest house. What is it?
This building, the Bureau headquarters, the oldest house, is a shifting place. You've seen it. It transcends its physical limits.
I've been to New York a few times. How didn't I notice this place?
It's an attribute of the building. This is a place of power. The oldest house doesn't like attention, so unless you're purposely trying to find it, you don't, which is perfect for us. The work we do here is essential, but unstable. The Bureau prefers not to be noticed. And we need strong walls to make sure nothing gets out.
So without you, I never would have found the front door.
Okay. This Trench guy. I keep hearing him in my head. Is he a ghost? Haunting me?
I doubt we're talking about a ghost in the traditional sense, but an echo maybe. See, if he was killed by the service weapon, your gun, maybe it's his final thoughts recorded by the bullet in his brain, like a deep space probe sending back data. But that's just a hypothesis on my part. I need the gun to research it. But you better hold on to that given the circumstances.
I think I will. Yeah. Can you tell me what an object of power is exactly? This is all, well, new to me.
Don't worry, I love going over the basics. So objects of power are mundane objects that house paranatural energies and have developed a link to the astral plane and can thus be controlled, which is what differentiates them from altered items, which are still housings of paranatural forces, but are more volatile and cannot be bound in the pure utilitarian sense. Got it?
Did she memorize this?
Got it. Thanks. So HRA stop you from becoming hiss?
Well, it seems that way. I mean, I hadn't even heard of an HRA until a few weeks ago when Dr. Darling started handing them out. Well, I began analyzing mine as soon as I got it. I mean, each one seems to emit a powerful short-range frequency way beyond anything I've ever seen.
Doesn't the timing seem suspicious?
I thought that too. Dr. Darling usually likes to unveil his latest breakthrough in big presentations. With these, he just passed them out. Yeah, his behavior makes me wonder what exactly he knew.
Thanks, Emily. I'm sure I'll have more questions soon.
Just let me know.
So at this point I'd like to posit that this building was clearly constructed by Robert Smirk as a place of power for the Spiral. But I'd be interested in hearing alternative theories about which entity is housed here. We going the right way? I don't think we are. Where it... Oh, right, it's up. Nope. You're heading the opposite direction. Also, I unironically love that the town she's from is called Ordinary. I just love that naming convention. So we have the nostalgia department, the cafeteria, communications, and dead letters ahead of us. The signage is usually more helpful than the map itself. It's not the worst map. Oh, and what is this? We don't have clearance for any of these encrypted-looking materials filed under assets. Oh, right, the naming convention. Yeah, it reminds me of stuff like Purgatory in the Ghost River Triangle. Honestly, I love the Ghost River Triangle more than I love the name Purgatory. It's just fun to say. Oh, this game's soundtrack is really something special. It just goes. That's very ominous. So, you know what? Actually, let's see what happens when we try to breach this horrible red glow.
It's overpowering here. You don't want me anywhere near it. With you on that.
I love these flashes of one-sided conversation where you can tell there's a respondent, there's an interlocutor, but you just can't hear their voice. Central Executive, dead letters, and Communications Department. Dead ahead, but not through there. I can never really quite make out what they're saying. What the voices of the hiss are whispering. Weapon armor damage. Probably could come in handy later. It's also the reason why we get it right here is because we've run into our first armored enemy. Plenty more where that came from. One inspiration for this that I neglected to mention earlier is the Secure, Contain, Protect, or SCP Foundation, which is this cool creepypasta-style collection of stories that's entirely community contribution-based. It's a pretty big influence on Control, along with stuff like House of Leaves and Jeff Vandermeer's work and the rest of the new weird that I've already mentioned. Admittedly, I never got that into SCP, so it's kind of a blind spot for me. I've been told that the FBC here is almost a one-to-one match for the Unusual Incidents unit of the SCP. Oh, also, speaking of things I was told, Casper Darling is actually not Littlefinger, though Littlefinger's actor was in Remedy's previous game, Quantum Break. I'm just really bad with faces. No joke, I am so bad at telling people apart, even when the differences are really super obvious to most people. And speaking of Darling...
Just look at it. 8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes. This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it. A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the Cold War era collective unconscious. A receptacle. It is a receptacle for dangerous energies to hone in on. And they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. OOP. Oops. Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've launched maybe 3 dozen pencils. And once, we even launched a cup.
So we're learning about objects of power. Emily told us about places of power. We've heard the phrase altered world events getting thrown around.
We're on the right track.
Now we have objects of power. And what's interesting about what Darling just told us is that he very specifically used the phrase concepts. It represents a concept. Concepts are stored within it. And then we had that note about how bringing in things representative of archetypal concepts were prohibited. You can't bring them into the FBC, into the House of... almost call it the House of Leaves, the oldest house. And that's something else. That's how the board speaks to us.
An object of power. Looks like the hiss have latched onto it. We need to cleanse it.
And hey, our first encounter with an object of power. We're gonna have to kind of navigate it telekinetically launching everything at us. And telekinesis was exactly what Casper described it as being connected to. I was saying before, the reason for the dialogue slashes from the board, as someone in the comments succinctly put it, is because the board is speaking to us not in words, but through concepts. And Jesse's brain is just translating those ideas, those concepts, into approximate speech. The floppy disk / nuke can be bound to gain launch / telekinesis. Teach us to believe, director.
It's harder to hear you when I'm here. It's like the channel's been changed. The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in the Bureau seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director.
And through objects of power, we can hone the powers they're connected to, like telekinesis, and this is far from the only one we're going to be getting. The very next one after this is one that I'm pretty excited about. And if you know the type of person I am, you have a few pretty good guesses about what it might be. Think about the things that I love. As for telekinesis, it is governed by an energy bar. Ability / gift / burden. And that energy bar will fade in and out when it's relevant, up in the top center of the screen. With no modifications or upgrades, you generally get enough for just a couple of quick uses, and then it regenerates, just like the ammo / energy of the gun. You must stop / mute them. They're burrowing into the astral plane where the board resides. The floppy disk is now bound / delivered. The hiss / antagonist is seeking our astral plane.
You were gone. Cut off. I got it. Just like you wanted, right? This one.
So let's really put this to use. You can grab basically anything in the environment. The environment's like 99% physics objects. And if in the rare occasion there's nothing actually around to fling, you'll just upheave a lot of rubble from the ground and toss that. You can also fling bodies. Also, the targeting works such that when you release the button, whatever you're picking up, no matter where it is, will just beeline straight towards whatever you're targeting. So you can actually use telekinesis to hit things from behind an enemy while you're facing their fronts. You can get all sorts of cool angles, and that actually becomes important for some fights. Mailroom's through here.
Locked. Maybe there's a key nearby. This must open the door.
Wait, where is that coming from? Oh, he spawned in behind me. God, that track kicks ass. We'll cleanse this, we'll look around a bit, then we'll take our keycard back through the door. Fuck this bathroom and this one. And then, no, I don't think I want to go too far down this route since we'll double back through here anyway.
They can fly. Great.
This is Alberto Tomassi, or was. It's now a hiss-infected Alberto Tomassi, the communications director. It's also our first boss fight. He will generally be pretty evasive and telekinetically fling things, which is why you have all of these line of sight pillars. And the reason the ads spawn in is not really to challenge you, it's actually to give you some health back. This can actually be a little bit of a tricky encounter on your first go-around. Because he is elusive, because he has some actually decent long-range tools, and he can do a lot of damage. And he's entirely unlike any of the other hiss that you've fought so far. Some good headshots. Ooh! We're gonna need to go deal with some of the ads so I can get some health back. Now let's just gobble those up. And then hopefully... I got caught on something in the environment. Where'd he go? I didn't see which direction he dashed. I think it was to the left.
I have a feeling he'll be back. Let's stay focused. The hotline should be past the mailroom.
We'll take the stairs up, and we'll be one step closer to the hotline chamber. Ooh. It's beaut. Ah, more about the floppy disk. And speaking of, we'll learn a little more about that in a second.
Roberto Tomassi, head of comms.
Statement of Alberto Tomassi regarding a floppy disk. Audio recorded direct from subject. Statement begins.
All right, take this down. The situation in Cuba has been evaluated by the relevant authorities. The mysterious illness affecting the staff at the U.S. Embassy in Havana was caused by sonic weaponry in the hands of a foreign power. Numerous personnel have damage to the inner ear, but most are expected to make a full recovery. Of course, the event also damaged their cellular walls, but we can't blame that on some stupid noise gun. Thank God no local doctors examined them first. Honestly, what the odds an alternate item would show up inside a U.S. embassy? Talk about good luck, huh? So much easier to... Hey, are you still recording this?
Like the internet,
The hotline can't be far now.
communication in the FBC is handled through a series of tubes. There's a real retro sci-fi meets brutalist aesthetic here that just really does it for me in this whole game. So we hear the distant ringing. Oh, whoops. I didn't hold it. Just tap the button. I don't think the security log is too important, and we're generally going to be skipping or glossing over some of the less important notes, or most of them, because there are a lot. Remedy loves their memos. Every now and then you get something brilliant like Time Knife in Quantum Break.
The Ocean View Motel and Casino. Dream Logic. The light switch cord. Door marked with the black pyramid.
Can't really read what's on this sign, so we should probably hit the lights. Looks like a blacklight poster. Ocean View Motel and Casino entry point. Catalyst light switch. The law of 3 applies. So that's 2. 3.
Been here before? No. I've stayed at a lot of roadside motels across the country. On the road, on the run, under the radar. This feels like all of them, like something recognized from a dream.
Dream logic is incredibly important to this game, which is why the Ocean View Motel exists so early in the game, to demonstrate how and why, and also to set a mood. Before we ring the bell and try to summon someone to help us out, let's take a look down this hall. You can see a light on under the door. In fact, you can see a light under a few of them, but they're all closed.
Hello? Anyone here?
That opened one of the doors, though. Nothing inside but some hazy light. Let's try it again. Oh, a different door opened up. But still nothing. I wonder if the law of 3 applies. Indeed it does. We found a key.
The key has a black pyramid on it.
This is my whole jam. And you know how this goes now. 1, 2, 3. I love this. And there's another challenge, but before we go too far into this and see what we're about to get, I think we'll stop it here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, please. Ring the bell. Check the links in the doobly-doo. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one.